friends, it's Amy at Doki Doki Forest. I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome. Today is Friday, which means it is hashtag Flip Through Friday. This is a hashtag created by Kristina over at Kristina's Shack. And it's a hashtag anyone can use and share anything that you are either working on or that you've done in the past, and it can be absolutely anything. Just be sure to use the hashtag so we can all find you and tag Kristina so she can find you. Today I thought I would share with you my mixed media, mostly prompt journal from 2023. Now this thing has turned into quite a beast. It is very chunky. There are still just a few pages left that I haven't used yet, but I figure we probably won't flip through the whole thing today anyway because there's kind of a lot to get to. So we will flip through, a good chunk of it, maybe a half hour or so, and then I'll save the rest for next time or another time. So the cover I just scraped paint on. This was one of Janet Nash's prompts, and I had some extra when I was scraping, and so I just scraped it right here on the cover, and then just a couple of stamps. I haven't really done anything fancy to the cover. I bought this journal years ago. I was watching someone on YouTube who was using the same journal to practice their gouache in, and I wanted to practice my gouache painting as well. So I figured, they're using it and it works well for them, so I'll buy it and give it a go. But it became one of those journals I just really didn't work in, and it sat aside for years until last year when I picked it up and decided, I could use this to do some of my prompts in. And then there's a few other odds and ends. Now, most of the prompts are either from Janet Nash, who has art prompts every Monday that she pulls, or they are from Inspired to Create 2023. And that was a prompt challenge that Allison from AJ's Inspired Life and Melissa from Missy Creates did each week, where they exchanged prompts with each other. And I'll go through as I show you. So let's get into it. So nothing here, nothing on the inside cover. I got to decorate that. And page 1, we just have some sketches, just random things I was working on. And this was another sketch, a little girl and a little beastie. And I actually did a painting of this. Do I have it handy? No, but I will get it. Hold on. All right, so this was the sketch here. And then this was my painting that I did. So it's just a combination watercolor and colored pencil. I don't know when did I do this? I did not date it either here or here, but it is from a couple years ago. So that's that. Then here's my gouache practice. I did a flying squirrel and a cheeky chipmunk. And then that was pretty much it. A sketch here. I don't know, some sort of a bug. And then we get into Trash Tuesday. That's right. That was another hashtag, and that's from Just Journaling with Possum Patty. And a lot of these pages I actually have videos for, so you can go through my videos and find, anything. Trash Tuesday, the Janet Nash prompts have a playlist, and Inspired to Create, I believe, has a playlist as well. So yeah, this was Trash Tuesday, which is super fun. It's just, get any trash and put it in your journal. So I just collected all these different wrappers. Oh, this is a bit of corrugated cardboard. This is from a nacho chip bag, a little bit of a tissue box over here, and then the little lime slice and the onion. These were from Chip Packaging from Japan, and I believe these characters were on a candy wrapper. And then I just glued it all down. This background's from a chocolate bar wrapper. And then I just drew the bodies for these little characters. We've got Onion Boy and Lime Girl. And then I wrote a little story to go with it, just for fun. Oh, this was a sketch I did for my son's karate dojo for Christmas last year. Or not last year, 2022. And this was a creation I did along with Lolly Mill, who has a lot of gorgeous mixed media online art classes and different workshops that you can sign up for. So this is one I did along with her, and I found out about her from Sylvia. So definitely go see Sylvia's channel as well. I'll put a link down below. And it's beautiful. All the things Lolly Mill does, it's just incredible. So I definitely learned a lot about layering, and I loved her process of the way she begins by writing and then covering it up, and just beautiful. And there was something else she had you do. I made a fairy. I feel like it was maybe a kite, or maybe it was a butterfly. It might have been a butterfly or a moth, and I made a butterfly fairy. But yeah, this is supposed to be a ladder going into the sky. I feel like maybe I made it look more like a train track. Either way, it's a path to the sky and the stars. And Lolly Mill is on Instagram. She does not have a YouTube channel that I know about, but I loved her class. Loved it. This was a free one too. I wound up signing up for some other ones that she had, but I believe this was a limited time free one. So yeah, it was awesome. And then here is when I started doing the Inspired to Create 2023 challenge. This was March 10th, 2023. So my friend and I exchanged prompts. And the thing is, for that challenge, Allison and Melissa would come up with a word each week. And for the word, for each letter that's in that word, they would have a prompt. So for example, for this one, the word was rainbow. So the prompts that my friend gave me were, for R, it was rose. For A, it was affirmations. For I, it was inspiration. For N, it was nature. B was bright. O was otherworldly. And W was waves. So I just tried to include all of that here. And this is my friend Chrissy, and we did many of the prompts. We didn't do all of them. And then at the end of the year, I feel like things sort of got a little bit crazy over here. So I wasn't able to do them, you know, end of summer towards the end of last year. I wasn't really doing them as much, but I loved doing them. And here's a double page. I started with some paint and some ink and making a forest that you walk into. And I didn't quite finish it. So I love this idea, though. I'm going to do more with this year. And oftentimes I would skip a page because, as you can see, the paper can handle a lot, but there is also a lot that comes through. Oh, and I would gesso every page too, because it just wasn't strong enough to handle the paint on its own. So it's pretty thick now. This was March 17th, Inspired to Create prompts. The word was Saint Patties, but like ST Patties, not the whole word saint. So I had shamrock, paint splatter, aardvark, twine. Did I use twine? I don't see twine, but I highlighted that. I must have changed it. No, I changed it to teal and texture for my 2 T's. Then yellow and sparkle. So I've got my green magical aardvark. He's a lucky aardvark that you may see around St. Patty's Day. I think you could see him anytime in the Doki Doki Forest, but they're more prominent if you go around St. Patty's Day. This is one of my favorite pages that I created. This was all inspired by a quote that little Pickles, Jody Ann, shared on Janet Nash's live stream. And it was one of those times where it just hit me really hard and I had to go and create immediately. So it was this quote here that she shared: "Hope is being able to see the light despite the darkness." And it just really touched me, moved me, and I just was compelled to create this piece. So thank you so much, Jody Ann. She shares amazing quotes pretty much every single Monday over on Janet's live stream, and they are wonderful. I really want to make a quote book and like illustrate a lot of the quotes just because they're so beautiful, and they're very heartfelt as well. And oh, and Jody Ann Little Pickles, she has a YouTube channel, and I will link that down below as well so you can find her. And now we go into something very silly. That was a very serious piece, even though it has, like, you know, a character that is cartoony. You know, my illustration is not realistic, but this was a very serious piece for me. And now we're going to go into a silly piece, which is this Star Wars inspired 2-page journal creation. And this was for, I'm checking the back so I can see, this was for the word spring, and this was for the Inspired to Create Challenge. And so Chrissy gave me, for the word spring, she gave me Speeder, Poe Dameron, Restraining Bolt, Inquisitor, Newt Gunray, and Geonosis. And these are all Star Wars characters and places and things. And that was actually just an idea Chrissy and I had, just to kind of add another layer to the challenge. Every once in a while we would say, you know, okay, this week we have to do, everything has to be something Star Wars, you know, and then we do another one where it was like everything has to be Marvel, and that was just for fun. That was not something that you had to do or anything like that. So here's Poe Dameron, looking pretty flashy. He's got a sparkly tooth. He's trying to sell you some pretty crummy speeders over here. And here's his sign, Dameron's Deep Space Debris. So he is trying to swindle you out of your hard-earned credits because he would like to get rid of these, and he's trying to convince you that they're in perfectly good working order. He's also trying to convince Newt Gunray and the Inquisitor, who have both come to Geonosis, which is this planet, and it's like a bug planet, and they've both come here. Maybe they've crash landed. Either way, they need a way to get around, and this is the guy they came to. And here he is wearing his restraining bolt, which is usually something you would find on droids to keep them from running away, but in this world it has become a fashion statement. And next we have some Janet Nash prompts. I'll tell you the prompts and then we'll come back because I write them on the back a lot of the time. So this was March 20th, and the prompts were candle, celebration, magic, print with something from nature, sparkle, and then music or book paper. So we have the candle, the sparkle. I printed over here. I tried to print some flowers. You can just barely see the texture here. I don't think you can really tell that they are flowers, but you know. And then I added, some of the petals just fell off, so I just attached them and right in there with some sparkle Mod Podge. And I've got my beasties having a celebration. There's like a festive napkin and the music paper. I don't know if you can tell it's sparkly. I'll move it around so you can really see that sparkle. Yeah, the sparkle Mod Podge is like a hit. I love that stuff. I'm a big fan of sparkle and glitter. And now we move on to, oh, this was just, this page here was just random. This was me taking little bits and pieces. These were all from a Land's End catalog. They were different shirts and shorts and pants and backpacks, and I thought the designs were cool, so I was just cutting them out and gluing them all over the page, and then cutting out some in heart shapes and some in circles. A collage of scraps and bits and pieces. And then, you know, I was trying to make this one look like a little patch there, like it had a little stitching. Just some fun. And then this is a Janet Nash prompt page. The quote was, "Life is better with friends." And I'm sorry, let me just turn this real quick to get the Prompts here we have: use up bits and bobs of scrap paper on your desk, black and white image from a magazine, music theme, 1950s vibe, apple, and the quote that I was just reading to you. So this was the 1950s vibe. Apples I just wound up drawing because I figured I could either try to dig through and find an image of an apple, or I could just draw them. I've got the bits and bobs back here, the image from a magazine here, black and white image. And the whole idea was that, you know, this is a giantess who's looking for friends, and this little girl has always been friends, and now she's bringing along some apple friends too. And then we have our Marvel page here. This is another inspired to create challenge, and Chrissy and I, like I said, this time we decided that the prompts we gave each other would be Marvel related. So let me just see what we had here. March 29th, 2023, we have the word clover. So for C, we had collector, L, Loki, O is Otto Octavius, V, Valkyries, E, Ego, and R, Ragnarok. And so here we have our characters. We've got the collector here. We've got Otto Octavius, otherwise known as Doc Ock, Loki, Ego, Valkyries, and Ragnarok is like the destruction of Asgard. So these are all flips. And so there's all this destruction happening, and the collector says, beautiful, beyond compare. And Otto Octavius says, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, because that's a quote that he says, and in this case he's saying it about Thanos' gauntlet. And now that I've folded them, you can see the full destruction here. And then Loki's running, saying, this wasn't me, I swear. And Ego's over here giving a thumbs up and saying, great job, Loki. I see you've terraformed Asgard for me. So he's happy because he wants to go and terraform, or pretty much take over, destroy, remake every planet in his image. So yeah, that's the Marvel page. And then next we have, this is another inspired to create 2-page journal creation. And let me just get the prompts. The prompts for this one, it was Easter, April 5th, 2023. So we have for E we have enchanted or enchanting. A, we have ant. S, we have self-care. T, transformation. E, endearing. And R, ring. And those were prompts, again, that Chrissy gave me. So for ring, I made a fairy ring of mushrooms. We have our ant. We have our transformation of this butterfly popping out of the chrysalis. The ant is practicing some self-care in this leaf. There's some enchantment happening, and there's a little story I wrote with it. So this is another one that you can go back and see the whole video from start to end, how this was created, if that sort of thing interests you. And if not, then we move on. This was a page of scraps. This is just scraps at my desk that I was just gluing down just to use up another page in the journal, because I didn't want to use paint on this page. And I just figured, you know, there's stuff on the desk, let's just get it in there. Sometimes it's good to do a desk cleanup and just sort of make a page like this. There's even a little piece of fabric there. And this is another creation. This is another 2-page journal spread, and this is for Janet Nash's prompt. And we have a dreaming chipmunk who dreams of being brave. And let me just get you the prompts. April 3rd, 2023, we had chaos, painty paper, yellow, hibernating animal, courage, and add a miniature scene. So this is the hibernating animal, the chipmunk, but they are having a dream of courage, of fending off this wolf dragon to the amazement of their friends. There's the little miniature scene, which is the little attic where the chipmunk is snoozing. We have yellow all through the background, and also a yellow submarine. And that is for Barbara Chicken Pot Pie Society, because she threw out the challenge in the chat saying, you know, hey, you could put a yellow submarine in there. And I thought, sure, why not? We'll just, you know, it's an attic space. They've got a collection of all kinds of things. So, you know, a little rubber ducky is in there. You know, you can just put anything in there. And then that just adds to the chaos. So it works perfectly. So that was that. And then we have an inspired to create double page journaling creation again. And this one was, oh, it's over here. April 12th, 2023, the word was bunny. And so for B, I had bald eagle, U, UFO, N, nymph, and then the next N was namaste, and Y was yurt. So we've got everything. We've got yurt, we've got a bald eagle, we've got a UFO, a nymph, namaste. She's practicing her namaste pose, as is the little hammy who came to the picnic, and as is the cow who, and the alien actually. The alien is also doing the namaste pose, and the cow is practicing as well as it's going up into the UFO. Now, I was not careful about covering this up when I was working through the journal, and so this UFO has gotten a little bit of damage on there from paint, and also one of the eyeballs has somehow vanished, so I have to draw that back in. There we go. Now our little alien can see again. I mean, they could see before, but now they have two eyes. And so there's a little story I wrote. Again, you can see that if you want to look at the video. This was just an extra page. I began to do a collage, but I didn't finish. So I've got my paper, and then I was putting the paint over it, and some paint splatter, and I had this random sketch I had done, so I just colored that in, threw it in there, but I didn't quite finish it. So, you know, these journals, you can always go back and add some more in. There's always pages. Here's 2 pages I gessoed, but I did not use, so I could go back and do a little something. And here we have Janet Nash prompts. This is the prompt page, but because one of the prompts was teddy bear, I had to have Mr. Bean show up going, Teddy, is that you? So I couldn't resist. I just had to have him there because, you know, Mr. Bean's got his teddy. So our Janet Nash prompts, this was April 10th of last year. We had teddy bear, fan, tear up painty paper, the words yes you can, make a rainbow, and happy. So there we go. We've got a rainbow, we've got the bear, and we have the cheering little stuffed animals down there, and each one has a word on their tummy. It says, yes, you can. They have their little fans there waving, and they are cheering this little bear on. And this was paint that I was scraping, and then the extra I just scraped over here. And these look like some fun sprays from Care at My Take at the Lake. This is probably when I discovered making your own fun sprays and gave those a little practice there. This page is a big one. It goes this way. This was another inspired to create challenge. Let me tell you the prompts and then I'll actually show you. So for this one, we had the word earth. So for E, I had energy. A was atmosphere. R, roots. T, temperature. And H, habitat. So we turn it this way, and I'll bring you in a little bit closer. And so I have space, and then I decided that this dragon would be providing the atmosphere. So it would be like an atmospheric dragon forming around this world, and the temperature is represented by the sun shining and bringing warmth. And then we have this planet here, which is a tree planet. And we have all of these roots that are providing different habitats for these little animals that live there. We've got crystals, a crystal forest, mushrooms, we've got a jungle, we've got water, we've got caves in the roots. So it's a whole little ecosystem, a whole little world right there. And it's out there in space, just floating and protected by this atmosphere dragon. Now that one almost threw me for a loop because I found those words very challenging, and then I went to kind of sketch an idea and somehow this just all came together. Sometimes that happens. So I love when you get these prompts and you're thinking like, what am I going to do with this? And it just makes you push yourself to come up with some sort of idea you would have never thought of otherwise. So it's awesome. I'm going to end there because I'm coming up on 30 minutes. So I'll leave off here and then we'll put a little bookmark in here for now. And we'll come back to this next time. Put a little something there. And we'll continue during the next flip through. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you again soon.